Kumiko and the Shadowcatchers. This is the third book in the Kumiko and the Dragon series, and the last book. And it opens up with a prologue, a little bit of information before the story begins. Of all the things Tomoto has ever told me about the Shadowcatchers, it's their book that interests me the most. He said their spells were written onto its pages with ink made from the shadows of creatures that once roamed the earth. Strange creatures, magic creatures, creatures we have long forgotten. They once lived free as any wild things until their shadows were snatched and forced into the book. Forever bound by the spell of its cover, all other parts of the creatures disappeared as if they had never existed at all. There are traces that remain of these creatures. Tomoto says you can find them in old artworks and tapestries, and the stories we call folk tales. He said that humans have lost their memories of what the world was once like, but it's the most unbelievable stories of all that are probably the most true. Chapter 1. I make my way home beneath the full boughs of bursting cherry blossom. Others might describe this as beautiful, lovely and splendid, but I'm in no mood for pretty words, not even at the end of the school day, not even at the beginning of spring. Only the weeping willow bows its head and understands. Most of the time I don't mind having secrets like treasures hidden away where no one can find them, but today was one of those days when I wish people knew that I am not just any other girl. Of course, Mr. Takahashi could not have known how I would feel about our new class project. When he asked me, "Kumiko, what do you know about dragons?" I went quiet and blushed like an overripe plum. I would like to have said that dragons live in the great white clouds that push across the sky, that they come in a million different colours, sizes and shapes, but all like their tummies scratched before they go to sleep. I would like to have seen their faces when I said that dragons have taught me the recipe for rain and the smell of clouds and the taste of starlight on an evening wind, or that every night a dragon called Tomoto sits outside my window and guards me from the Shadowcatchers as I sleep. Everyone in my family has a guardian dragon, but it's a secret that we've kept for over 1,000 years, so I said nothing at all. "Pay more attention, please, Kumiko," said Mr. Takahashi. "What about you, Hatsuo?" Hatsuo had much more to say about dragons. Everyone looked at him as though he was very clever, but after today, I think that Hatsuo is the least clever person I know. He said dragons are big, ugly lizards, and that they have been known throughout history to be powerful, evil, and cunning. But that is wrong. I couldn't stop myself. I shouted, "You're wrong, Hatsuo! Dragons are kind, magical creatures, and lots of people think they're lucky." Mr. Takahashi told me off for interrupting, and Hatsuo scowled at me like he had eaten some of my Obasan's sour sauce. Later that day, Hatsuo caught a lizard outside and threw it into my lap. "If you love dragons, kiss this!" He laughed and ran off to join his friends. I wanted to shout something rude at him, but I couldn't think of anything to say. I still can't think of anything to say. As I turn down the lane towards my street, I feel a chill from the mountains nearby. There are no cherry blossoms on our street, not yet. Only grey branches with white buds pushing up between their bony fingers. I stop at the little bridge that spans the stream near our house. I peer into the water to see if there is any winter ice left in it, but my eyes catch on something that makes my heart lurch and tumble with fright. On the water is a reflection of an old man walking past me on the bridge. He doesn't pay me much attention and walks straight on, but I remain frozen to the spot until he has shuffled as far as my ears can tell, until I am certain he has turned a corner and gone. Then I run. Our house is only on the next street, but I take every shortcut on the way. Hatsuo described dragons as powerful, evil and cunning, but those words belong to something else I know. I don't stop until I am shut on the inside of our gate, puffing like I haven't taken a breath for 100 years. My heart and my thoughts keep racing as I look back through the gate to the outside world. "Forget about boys and lizards," I whisper. "We have much bigger problems to deal with." Brings us to chapter 2. Who has Kumiko just seen?